old bird friends on there. And let's see. Where is it? I'm looking for that cut. Why can't I find it? She don't care about time. Oh yeah, Chris Hellman lead vocal, Herb Peterson harmony vocals, acoustic guitar. And in any case, that's then, and we're here now, and I'm very happy to welcome Mr. Andrew Rubin. Would you like to be known as Andrew Rubin, Andrew, or Social Poetry?
Andrew Rubin is fine.
Okay. And you're from San Luis Obispo.
I am.
And how long have you been here?
I've lived here since I was about 4.
Oh,
So
4. You've been here for a while.
If my math is correct, that'd be, let's see, a long time. For a while.
Now, you were on the show, I think, twice before, if I'm not mistaken. But, although both times, I think it was a call-in. I don't think you were here in the studio. And then the first time was when you had your guitar concerto, which you co-wrote with, I believe you co-wrote with John Anderson of Yes, and, as your mentor. And then the second time, I can't remember what it was. I don't remember. It was another record that you were doing at the time. And now you've got this social poetry project. Are you still calling it social poetry?
Yes.
And where does that come from?
Well, when I was looking to start an electronic music project a couple months ago, I had 2 names. And Platonic Bloom was the first one. And that was kind of taken from some of my musical heroes when they take aliases. Like David Bowie had Ziggy Stardust, and Prince had like 5 or 10.
Right.
And so I wanted to put out an album under a different name, because then you can get away with doing other things that maybe Andrew Rubin couldn't get away with. And then the second alias was Social Poetry. So I just wanted to rename it that and get on and have it be more of a collective, more of a collaboration with different artists.
Oh, so you've been doing some recording with other artists?
Yes.
And I've seen you busking on the street.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that takes a lot of, that takes a lot, speaking of moxie, takes a lot of moxie. It's, I mean, I wouldn't think that people who do busking generally make a lot of money, but it does get a lot of people to, you're confronting them with your music, and if they like it, especially if you have a CD or something, you just walk away and you're not paying anybody a percentage. It's all about you.
Yeah, I've found that it's the most raw way of practicing, and especially for getting better at singing and projecting your voice. So.
Well, yeah. Well, are you doing it without any electronics, or just? Oh, yeah, you're doing it with electronics, right?
Yeah. Sometimes I bring this guy, this battery-powered amp right here, and that makes it easy to do some Jimi Hendrix.
That's a microcube.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's small. It's about 10 inches by 10 inches, but it packs a wallet. Do you want to start off with a live cut, or would you like to start off with something from the CD?
We could start off with a live cut.
Okay, what's the name?
Dark Days.
All right. This is Andrew Rubin here on The Rock. It's Tuesday Lunch.
Well, lately I've been feeling strange. Maybe things aren't quite the same. Dark days leading me behind. Bad ways taking all my time. I've been searching far and wide all my life. It's my name, but it's a monkey and listen like the falling rain. So tired of feeling on the road. And you feel as if you're going nowhere. Life has some lonely nightmare. Days that stretch on for so long, and nobody seems to know why all seems to go so wrong. With no reason at all. Da 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 da. much you can do living your life this way, Dark days, dark days, dark days, dark days. And if the day turns out tonight, we can try to make it right. A moment we can all pretend until the sun comes up again. Not much you can do living your life this way. Not much you can do in these dark days. Dark days, dark days, dark days, dark days, yeah. Those dark days.
That's Andrew Rubin. And what are you playing there? A Fender? What is it? Stratocaster.
Yes.
What vintage is that?
What vintage?
Yeah, how old is it?
Oh, I don't have any way of telling. I got it from a swap meet. But
well.
maybe from the 80s. It's kind of got a David Gilmour look with a black pick guard and everything. And
Did you start out playing acoustic originally?
yeah, steel string acoustic. Learned some chords. Rolling Stones the last time.
Yeah.
The song that got me started.
Really? That's
Yeah.
the one that got you started. That's funny. Yeah, it's funny how, you know, this is random. What people really like. I mean, what got me started in music was a group called what was it called? The Circle, Red Rubber Ball. That was one of my favorite songs when I was a kid. And now I listen to it, it's really, well, it's hokey. It's hokey, but...
That was on guitar? Were you playing guitar?
No, I was just listening. I was just music appreciation.
Oh,
you know.
gotcha.
Actually, the first songs I ever heard were probably my brother's music. So I was hearing stuff like Fats Domino, you know, when I'm a kid, like 1957, 58, hearing that old rock and roll stuff. My brother was 3.5 years older, so he always influenced my music. Do you have brothers and sisters?
I do. I have 2 older brothers.
So did they influence your music?
Yeah, absolutely. My brother Jeremy was a rock drummer growing up, and actually kind of inspired me to take some drum lessons when I was like 6 or 7. Ryan was a classical pianist, and was doing that for many years. And then I decided to pick up guitar when I was about 12, 13.
And were you writing back then?
Yeah, after learning the first couple chords, I was always trying to find some sounds or write some lyrics. I was really inspired by a lot of older rock, like the Beatles and Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin, and wanted to see, can I make some sounds like that?
Wow. And so, when's the first time you played in front of a group of people?
Probably about a year after picking up the guitar, just giving a little recital in the garage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I've seen you around. You've been playing. You know, I really have an affinity for house concerts. People just pour out their heart at house concerts more than they do often at a regular show, because their friends are standing around and looking, and it's just. I think the last one I saw you at was at the Groove Street up there in Baywood.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was a fun show.
It was a fun show. Great day that day. Boy, you know what? I just love the creak on this chair. I'm gonna give you a close up, folks, just because I know you're really dying to hear this. How's that for a creaky chair?
That's great. We could record that and then put it in reverse.
Yeah, it would be interesting in reverse. This is Abe Perlstein. You're on with Tuesday Lunch. This is 97.3 and 107.9 The Rock. You can listen at 97.3 if you're in Cayucas, Morro Bay, Los Osos, Baywood, and points in between. And 107.9 The Rock is relatively new for the past month or so up in the North County, all the way from San Miguel to Santa Margarita. So if you're up there, thanks again for listening. And if you'd like to go to the website for this show, the fan page is just type in Tuesday Lunch with Abe at Facebook, and it'll come right up. Make sure you click that little like button, because then you'll get every once in a while you get something, once or twice a week. And Andrew Rubin, now what else do you do besides music? Do you do other things as well?
Occasionally, when I go outside,
Yeah?
I might attempt to do other things when I'm not in the studio or the bat cave.
Yeah?
But no, yeah, I love when not doing music. I'm actually a big fan of boxing. I just got into boxing.
I would have never guessed that in 1,000.
Probably not. Probably most people who know me wouldn't have guessed that. But I recently started training in that, and really.
You're
appreciate
training
that.
as a boxer?
Yeah,
Can you play guitar at the same time?
I haven't tried that yet. I'll have to. No.
Wow, that's something I would have never ever guessed you would be in boxing. But you are a fine composer. I've seen you in action with the guitar concerto and the full orchestra. Now, which orchestra was that? I'm trying to remember.
Well, thanks to Bob Liebman of Bob and Wendy, he got me into the St. Louis Chamber Orchestra.
That's right. That's
yeah.
right. Yeah, and it's. Are you doing other compositions like that?
Yeah, I've got some. In fact, when I was working with John, we actually composed 3 different guitar concertos. And if it never works out, I would like to perform the other 2 someday.
Yeah.
But
Or
yeah,
maybe we just record them.
yeah,
That might be easier, even without an audience. Just recording it. That way you can always stop and start it over again.
yeah. Definitely.
How long are they each?
Probably about 13 minutes, 15
Oh.
minutes.
Yeah, well, that's a challenging thing to orchestrate for an entire, write pieces and parts for everyone in the orchestra.
But I was listening to a podcast last night, and it said that the average person only has an attention span of about 7 to 9 seconds now. So when you put something out, you've really got to grab their attention and hold it for that short period of time before they lose interest, because we've got like 500,000 channels on TV and all that. So this makes me wonder about the value of long-form compositions as opposed to maybe just putting out little singles, nice pop songs.
13-second singles.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to. Oh, by the way, can you just turn your guitar volume down just a hair?
Of course.
Yeah, and then it was distorting a bit. I couldn't figure out where that was coming from, because it's not distorting when I listen to it. But that sounds fine. Okay. You want to do something from the record or another live one?
I can do another live one.
Okay, that sounds good. And this is Andrew Rubin, and what are you going to play for us?
I'll do a Bob Dylan song.
Oh, okay.
Lay across the grass bed. Lay across the grass bed. Whatever colors you have in your mind, I'll show them to you, and you'll see them shine. Stay, stay all the night, stay Why wait any longer for the world to begin? You can have your cake in it too. Why wait any longer for the one you love when he's standing in front of you? Stay, little, stay. Stay with your man a while. Until the break of day, let me see you make him smile. His clothes are dirty, but his hands are clean, and you're the best thing that he's ever seen. Stay, little, stay.
Very nice. Well, your headphones fell off right in the middle of that.
They did.
That's funny. And that's one of my favorite Bob Dylan songs. And I loved how his voice was back then. It was very, very different than it is now. But back then it had this, it just did something really unusual. It was only that record. He didn't sound like that on any other record.
Yeah, and his voice changed a lot after he had like a motorcycle accident.
Oh, probably that too. Yeah, I never thought about that. Well, you're not riding a motorcycle.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah. And so you went, did you go to music school?
I took a couple classes at Cuesta, but a lot of it was just self-study,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in my room, and, you know, just practicing for hours and hours and hours. And then I considered going to Berkeley in Boston or Musicians Institute in LA for a while, and still not opposed to that. So it may be in the future.
Both are very fine schools, actually. And put out a great deal of great, and Quest has put out a great deal of music talent.
Yeah, they've got a great program there.
You know, it leans heavily towards jazz, but you know, you can do a lot of things when you use jazz as your basis, because it's really one of the most demanding forms of music in terms of composition, performance, getting it right. You can make a lot more mistakes in rock and roll and folk, but jazz, you got to be right on it, or else it doesn't sound right. Of course, you could say that about a lot of kinds of music.
Speaking of jazz, could I do a jazz one?
I'd love that. Sure, sure.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, in other words, in other words, I love you.
That's Andrew Rubin, live in the studio, 97.3, 107.9 The Rock. And you know, if you are Andrew's Facebook friend, I don't know, is that a public stream right now?
Yes.
You can go to actually, what is it? Because there's other Andrew Rubins
At Andrew Rubin Music is the handle.
on Facebook.
Yeah.
So if you just type in at the at symbol, or
I believe that's how people find each other, or it's facebook.com/Andrew Rubin Music.
Andrew Rubin Music, AndrewRubin Music.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause it's got a nice little shot of Andrew playing right now. He's wearing this rock and psychedelic bird shirt. It's really cool. let's see, it's 10 minutes before 2 o'clock, and Andrew's going to be with me until about 2:15, and then at 2:30, it's Jackie Allen, jazz vocalist Jackie Allen, calling in from, I think, Nebraska, although she's from Chicago originally. We'll be hearing music off her new record, and then all you Firesign Theater fans, don't go away, because at 3:30 till 4 or thereabouts, Phil Proctor from Firesign is making his third Tuesday lunch appearance. We'll be talking about his Where's My Fortune Cookie autobiography, which is a scream. And right now we are with Andrew Rubin, and I was hoping that maybe, Andrew, we can go to, was it Universal Deception? I think that was like the song you were really excited about off this, right?
Yes.
Would that be okay? Can we play that?
Absolutely.
And this is off of a studio recording that you did, I don't know, some months back. And Social Poetry and Universal Deception here on The Rock. Cool. Yeah. When you're singing, sometimes if you're doing something really loud, just back away a little bit, give the mic a little space. These mics aren't really good for singing. That's why I always tell people bring their own mics. They're good for talking, but they quickly get overwhelmed when it's really loud. But it sounds really good, I think. Yeah, this is a cool cut. And you did this all yourself, right?
Yeah, and then I had my friend Austin help do a remix.
Is Austin also a photographer?
Yeah.
Oh, Austin bought some film for me.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, I bought a whole shitload of film, but I'm hoping he'll buy more. He shoots film, right? Yeah, same guy, I'm sure. How many Austins? Austin Neal, okay.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's the same guy.
Cool, I didn't know you knew him.
I don't really know him that well. I can't remember how he heard I had the film. Well, maybe because I'm your friend who saw the post on Facebook. Music that you wanted to play from influences from other artists?
Just covers that I would do.
Yeah, that's cool. Hey, let me get a shot as if you're playing. It's hard to shoot with that. You just didn't have to play. Look cool yourself. Yeah, I just love this. I love this guitar. That's cool. Let me do one more. How about one where the neck goes right towards the camera? Can you go straight up and down so I get some light on it? Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Focus on you. 1 second, almost there. And look up a little higher than the camera. No. Look a little higher than the camera. With your eye line. Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah, right there. Yeah, look like right to here with your eye. Perfect. Yeah. There we go. One more. Hold on. I'm almost there. There we go. That's cool. I got it. Cool. Actually, one more. I'm sorry. Sorry. Yeah. I just didn't get them. There we go. Yeah. Nice. There we go. That's it. Get that one outside the studio. So you did all this by yourself, right?
Yeah, and then I had my friend Joel sing on it, and Austin.
Joel Alexander?
Joel Alexander, yeah. Is there any chance we could play one more cut off the CD?
Sure. Oh, that's it. That's Social Poetry and Andrew Rubin, the creative force behind that. And which is the other cut you wanted to play?
No Money with Morgan Monroe of the Monroe.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Oh, yeah, I remember this now.
We don't care about no money.
She's still here?
Yeah.
What's she doing?
Well, I saw they were performing here not too long ago at the Siren.
Yeah, I was at that show. Huh.
Should I keep this going? Are we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't you just talk to them? Talk to them.
Hey everybody. I don't know who's watching right now. I don't even see if anyone is, but it's great to be
I'll
here.
see you later.
You want to say hi, Abe?
Yeah, hey. Hi, I'm Abe. You're on Tuesday Lunch. You know, if you want to stream this live and hear the really good sound, it's centralcoastradio.org. Centralcoastradio.org for the really good sound. And then you got this, look at this handsome guy here, man.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to let you set this up the way you want it. Yeah. Centralcoastradio.org will be your best sound for this. Yeah, I like how it's really happy in the background.
We don't care about no money. Don't buy us love. We don't care about no
Check out the inside of this studio.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff on the walls here. I mean, and you got to sign the back of the door there. You see the door? All those signatures, you got to sign the back of the door.
Can I do that now?
Yeah, let's do that. I'll document you doing it. You got 2 minutes. Okay. I gotta get you a marker. Here's a red marker. Yeah, this is the door of shame here. Got a lot of. Yeah, that is a great shirt. I love that shirt.
Thank you. My friend Bruce gave it to me. Thank you, Bruce, if you're watching.
Cool.
Who else? Okay, Word Sauce signed it. Those guys are cool.
Yeah, I forget often to. I forget to ask people to sign it, but.
We don't care about no money. Don't buy us We don't care about no money. Don't buy us love. We don't care about no money. Don't buy us
That's social poetry with the creative force. Andrew Rubin, and that's No Money. And who was that from the Monroe singing?
Morgan Monroe.
Morgan Monroe, who was in the band The Monroe. And this is 97.3 and 107.9 The Rock. It's 2 o'clock. You're on with KEBF Morro Bay, KZSR Paso Robles, listener-supported community radio for the Central Coast. And let's see. There is a thing happening here called Season of Hope. They're making the holiday season a little brighter for friends and neighbors in need. And it's simple. You bring non-perishable food items and new unwrapped toys to any local fire station or partner through December 15th. Partners will work with local food banks and toy agencies to distribute them to local residents in need. For instance, here in Baywood, you can go to the South Bay Fire Station at 2315 Bayview Heights. In Los Osos in Morro Bay, the fire station at 715 Harbor Street, right across from where we are in Morro Bay. Atascadero at 6005 Lewis Avenue and 9801 West Front Atascadero. Paso Robles 2510 Ramona Drive, and Templeton at 206 5th Street. And that'll help a lot of people who are in need this holiday season. And the Templeton Turkey Trot is now the Jingle All the Way 5K, Saturday, December 2nd, 5K route and kids 1 mile fun run. Medals for top 3 finishers in men's and women's categories at 5K. Prizes for all kids entered in a 1 mile fun run. For more information, contact Templeton Recreation at 805-434-4909. And the registration is open now, and you can go to www.templetoncsd.org. There you go. And Captain Retro is doing a show this Friday, the best of 1980s pop. This Friday, high noon at 2 p.m. here on The Rock. It's just about 2 minutes after 2 o'clock. I'll be with you till 4:20, and right now I've got Andrew Rubin of San Luis Obispo, local composer, singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist. And what do you got going? What are you going to do next?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm going to do Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, okay.
After all the jacks are in their boxes and the clowns have all gone to bed, you can hear happiness staggering on down the street. The footprints dressed in red, and the wind whispers Mary. A broom is drearily sweeping up the broken pieces of yesterday's life. Somewhere a queen is weeping. Somewhere a king has no wife. And the wind whispers Mary. Yeah. And all the traffic lights turn blue tomorrow and shine their emptiness down on my bed. A tiny island, it sags on down the stream, 'cause the life it's leading is dead. And the wind screams Mary. Or will the wind ever remember all the names it has blown in the past? And with its crutch, its old age, and its wisdom, it screams no, this'll be the last. And the wind screams Mary.
That's a very nice version of that Jimi Hendrix song.
Thank you.
The Wind Cries Mary. Yeah. Now, you must have been influenced. Did your folks listen to Jimi Hendrix?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And were they musicians?
Yeah, my mom is a great piano player and kind of got me started. My dad listened to music heavily. That's why I like to say I was raised on a steady diet of Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd.
That sounds like a good diet to me. Yeah. And so did they play professionally as well?
No, I don't think so. I don't think apart from my mom teaching some piano lessons. Yeah.
Right. And what was your first concert? Do you remember that?
The Who.
No, you're kidding.
No, yeah, I saw The Who when I was 14 at the Nokia Theater in LA.
Oh, man. Let's see, what year was that? Do you remember? Do you remember what
2009? 2008.
Do you remember what, so was it for an album? They were touring for an album? No. It's probably more of a like a best of kind of tour.
I think it was when they just put out the newer album, Endless Wire.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just there, it was The Who, and, Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey, and Zach Starkey on drums, Ringo Sun.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and it was
How was it?
Incredible, life-changing. They launched into I Can't Explain was the first song, and when I couldn't believe I was seeing The Who,
Yeah. Of course, I saw them, let's see, when was that? No, actually I never saw them. I wanted to see them. I had so many chances, but I never saw them. But they were an incredible band. It was just a trio, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
In the later years, they added a lot of musicians because they wouldn't get the sound they would. The Live at Leeds album is very well known for just the trio.
Right.
But in later tours, they'd bring keyboards, they'd bring all this extra layering and stuff. It still sounded great, but the real rawness was when it was the trio. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming they had a bunch of other things when you saw them.
Yeah, they had a couple of other great musicians, keyboardist, a bass player.
Did they do Boris the Spider?
No, they didn't.
Love that song. Boris the Spider. Well, I would love to hear another original by you.
Another original?
Yeah.
Okay. Could we play it off the record?
You sure could. Which one? Just tell me which number.
Number 5, These Conversations.
Well, you know what? Could you tell me the titles of these things? How about the title of the other ones? I don't know what those are.
Oh, sure. So number 3 was
I don't have these.
Oh.
6. I don't have 1, 2, 4, and 6.
I actually don't know what they are.
Well, that's okay. When we're done, because I'd love to know what they are. It's weird playing something and saying, I don't know what that is.
Right. Yeah.
We'll figure it out when you're done. Yeah. Actually, you have a minute. Let's just walk over outside. We've got 2 minutes and 51 seconds. Bring the guitar. Just to get this shot.